Hey, I'm Stephanie, and today I'm assembling my October makeup capsule. This month's makeup bag is inspired by the fall releases that I'm tempted by but have decided not to get, and instead I'm reminding myself that many of the things that I own are just as beautiful, if not more so. I kind of think of myself as having two cosmetic-related hobbies. One is using makeup and the other is shopping for makeup. Both are a ton of fun, but only one is truly sustainable for me in the long term if I do it all the time. And so this capsule makeup bag is a way of supporting my sustainable hobby of wearing makeup while still giving myself the thrill of new makeup by using the new releases to inspire me as I shop my stash. Just to be clear, it's not my way or the highway here. I think we all have our own ways of enjoying shopping and using what we buy, and I don't think that shopping is bad. I love it just as much as the next person, and I do plan on making a couple of Black Friday purchases myself. This is just a way to ensure that I can also savor the things that I do choose to get, and it's a practical way to ensure that I get the most joy out of my collection. So if you'd like to shop your stash along with me, I would love to hear what your choices are in the comments. Now, let's get into the meat of things and switch to the overhead camera so that we can fill up this bag. I'm still testing my pile of primer samples, which is slow going since I want to really pay attention when I wear test them. So into the bag they go. For eyes, it's my usual Urban Decay primer for longevity and the NYX Glitter Glue for sparkle days. My eyelids are getting oilier though the deeper I get into perimenopause, so although the Urban Decay has long been the one and only primer that has ever really worked on my eyelids to keep shadows in place, it's suddenly showing some weaknesses. So I pulled this sample of the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer out of my auditions box, where I keep makeup that has been decluttered to me until I have time to test it, and now is definitely the right time for me to test a new eyeshadow primer. When it comes to foundation, Natasha Denona has her new Hy-Glam foundation, and for a second I thought, maybe I should try that. But then I remembered my poor little Wet n Wild skin tint that's been hanging on by a thread. There's probably 2 uses left at most, and honestly, I just kind of want the satisfaction of seeing it in my empties pile. And after that, I can go back to my double wear, which I can get to look just as glowy as that Hy-Glam foundation if I apply it with a sponge and sneak in a little luminizer. Like, no one's gonna stop me on the street and say, "Excuse me, are you wearing Hy-Glam, or are you trying to trick me and you're actually wearing double wear?" So I think it'll be fine. Then I thought about my under eyes, which are always pretty dark. People keep talking about that PALLADIO under eye thing with the caffeine in it, and it sounds nice, and when I've seen people try it out, it looks nice too. But the truth is, I already have my Charlotte Tilbury corrector that I know I love. It has been my favorite for so long for a reason, because it really works for me. So I don't think I need to try the new PALLADIO. And then when it comes to my redness, I have my little green Sneaky Balm from Salt, New York for the days when I want to quick and easy fix for my rosacea. So I'm going to stick to those, and then I'm going to top them with my Lancôme Tint All Over Concealer. I'm still trying to use it up. It's hard to tell exactly how much is in here because it clings to the side of the tube. But when I look carefully, it looks like there's only about this much left. Maybe this will be the month I finally use it up. And I'm really eager to do that because it's getting pretty old, and I recently saw that the concealer is starting to separate. It still smells fine, it still works fine, and it doesn't irritate my skin. But if I don't use it up this month, I think it might be time to retire it since the formula really is beginning to change. The question is, will I repurchase the same one, or will I try something new from my wish list instead? Subscribe for incredibly dramatic developments on this front. Contour is often my weak spot. Haus Labs just released their Precision Sculpt Shaping Balm, and I haven't tried much from the brand, only their foundation, but it impressed me so much that I'm curious to see what this would be like too. Plus, my friend and fellow YouTuber Beauty in the Beaker even sent me swatch photos. They were gorgeous and tempting, but I have to be honest, I already own a small contour museum because of what I call Contourgate, when my holy grail was discontinued and I panic bought everything everything on the market when I ran out of it. So instead of adding to that pile, I will be panning for gold, which is my little series where I pit two nearly identical products against each other to see if it really is worth keeping both. This month, it's the Westman Atelier Face Trace Contour Stick in the shade Biscuit versus the Kevyn Aucoin Contrast Stick in Shape. They are so similar in tone that it feels kind of ridiculous for me to own both. So I'll wear them side by side a few times to see if one clearly wins. If you want me to film that showdown, drop me a flower emoji in the comments to let me know. If you saw last month's capsule, you might remember that I had the Kevyn Aucoin contour stick in my bag last month, but that was a different shade. That was the color Tone, and I really liked the formula, but the color was just all wrong for me, both as a contour and as a bronzer. This color, Shape, is much better for me, and it's also very close to Biscuit from Westman Atelier, so I want to see how the formulas compare. I'll wear them side by side several times and see if one clearly works better than the other for me. It might really be worth giving one of them away because especially when it comes to cream and liquid cosmetics, I just don't want to own too many similar things at once because that's when they tend to expire on me. I would rather thoroughly enjoy one than have both of them rot in my drawer. Whereas if I give one away, then someone else might get a whole lot of use and joy out of it. My decision for bronzer was pretty easy because I haven't been tempted by anything just because I haven't seen anybody launch a cream bronzer lately. I don't know if I just missed something or if there really isn't a new cream bronzer. Feel free to update me in the comments if you feel like I might be missing something. But for now, I am just going to enjoy my Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate duo yet again. Shade 1, which is what I have, is a summer bronzer on me, but I'm still tan enough to enjoy it, so I want to make sure I use that to my advantage. When it comes to luminizers, MAC came out with their new Skin Finish Light Struck Liquid Highlighter, but I already have something like that. The Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter in shade 3. This color is a little too peachy for me in the winter, so I need to get as much use out of it as I can while my tan is still around. I feel a little bit like I'm neglecting the lovely highlighter from the Tom Ford duo. I just have to remind myself that that highlighter works for me all year round. But this Charlotte Tilbury one works best for me during this season, so I think it's wiser for me to use this right now. Plus, it's lovely. For my cheeks, I've been tempted by that Merit holiday set with the mini Flush Balm trio because I have been wanting to try their blushes for so long. But I have to be careful not to purchase too many cream and liquid products at once because they do seem to expire a lot faster than my powder ones. So I'm just going to stick with my custom blush palette. It's in Makeup Forever packaging, but only 3 of the products in here are still from Makeup Forever. The rest are all things that I've repotted and put in here. These are my most vivid blushes and they tend to work best on my summer skin. So I'm going to get as much use out of these as I can while I still have a tan. There was a new powder release that made me pause very briefly, but it turned out to be an easy no the second I looked at my own collection. Huda Beauty released their Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder in a new duo format with 1 correcting shade and 1 brightening shade. Now, I really like Huda's Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder formula. It is one of my favorites, and it's one of the few powders that I keep easily accessible at all times, but I already own it. So I do not need to go out and buy the duo version. Even if I do have under eye darkness, that is what my under eye corrector and my concealer are for. So I am going to just enjoy the Huda powder I already have this month. When it comes to powder bronzer, I am going to skip the new Hung Van Gogh bronzer that everyone seems to be raving about. They say it gives this real soft focus blend and that it's so beautiful, but you know what? I already own a gorgeous bronzer that gives me a gorgeous soft focus blend that I admire every single time I use it. It's my Gucci bronzer. So instead of spending money to get different dirt that does the same thing, I am going to dive into enjoying the dirt that's right in front of me. Powder, blush, and highlighter will all come from my Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look in a palette because she finally released another one. I was so scared she gave up on this format because we haven't seen one in years. But now she's brought them out in 2 different colorways. The darker one is Dreamy Bronzed Beauty and the lighter one is called Pretty Glowing Beauty. Both of them caught my eye because I have always enjoyed these palettes. I get a ton of use out of them whenever I travel, and I did become somewhat of a collector of them, so I was ecstatic to see her bring them back. But then I realized I don't need to buy a new one to feel that joy. Using the ones that I already have brings it all back. So I am going to dive into this Beauty Glow Instant Look in a palette instead. Plus, I have seen a couple of reviews of the new ones, and people, are pretty ho-hum about them. They don't think they're bad, but they don't think they're great, especially because there's a new formula in there, a highlighty blush, and people think that it kind of emphasizes texture a little bit. And luckily, the formulas that I have in these older palettes don't do that. So I am going to be perfectly satisfied with this. New eyeshadow was the hardest for me to resist, as it always is. Although, I have to say, this time it was actually a lot easier than usual. If you want to know why, I'll link my last New Makeup Madness video where I discussed the Dolce & Gabbana palettes. A lot of people expressed enthusiastic interest in my reviewing them, especially the smoky one. So I actually did some homework to see if any of the palettes might be something that I would realistically use, not just for the review, but after it too. And I have to say, I really wasn't all that impressed with the reviews that I saw. The packaging really is just as cheap feeling as it looks in the product photography, and the shadows look nice, but there was nothing special about them that really sparked my curiosity. I'll link to a review that I saw by Dear Eva Hansen because she showed the whole application process of each palette, and I thought she did an excellent job. The shadows looked fine, just nothing special, nothing that would excite me 2 months from now. Meanwhile, the Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge palette in my collection is sitting right there, calling my name, looking moody and perfect for October. And this still excites me, even though I've owned it for a long time now. And it will be great if I find myself in the mood for any spooky vibes as we get closer to Halloween. I am so excited to play with this that it immediately pushes that Dolce & Gabbana Smoky palette right off my wish list. When it comes to brow pencils, there are so many that I really want to try right now. I don't know what's gotten into me because I'm normally pretty ambivalent about brow products, but I only have this one pencil and I still have a ways to go on this ABH Brow Wiz. So I'm just going to stick with this and I'm not going to consider buying something new until this gets a little bit lower. For my lashes, instead of trying that new brown colorway of the Future Lash Mascara from Victoria Beckham, which seems like it would be unbelievably lightweight and feathery and brown, which is what I love, I'm going to stick with my Clinique High Impact Mascara in the shade Black Honey that I got as a gift from a friend. It's a soft brown. It works really well for me with my blonde hair and my blue-green eyes. It's feathery and lightweight, so why go out and buy a new mascara when I have a lovely one right here? And because I do have a smoky palette in my capsule this month, I want to include a black mascara as well. So I'll continue to use my About Face 1994 mascara, which I received in PR. I never like to have more than 2 tubes of mascara open at once, one black and one brown, because this is the one product in my collection that I really do switch out like clockwork. I got a nasty eye infection from an old mascara once, and I never want to repeat that. So this is the last month I will be using the About Face mascara, and then it's time for it to retire. My eyeliners this month will all be chosen based on my eyeshadow palette. I can create some great nude looks with the Huda palette and the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Glow face palette, so I'm going to throw in my MAC Liquid Lash Liner in brown, but I'm also going to be doing some black smoky look, so I'm going to toss in my NYX Epic Ink Liner in black. And just in case I want to smoke things out, I want to put some gel liners in here, so I'm going to take my Kiko liner in shade 4 as my brown option, and my Pat McGrath Labs Permagel Ultra Glide Eye Pencil in Extreme Black for my black option. And finally, lips. I am still so tempted by MAC's Pro Lip Erase. Those flesh-toned bombs look like the perfect concealer lip shortcut, but realistically, I don't wear that sort of thing often enough to justify buying one. So instead, I am putting my Charlotte Tilbury Kissing Lipstick in JK Magic, my perfect beige, paired with her Lip Cheat in Iconic Nude. It's a flattering combination, it's versatile, and it actually suits my everyday life. Plus, I think this combo will pair really well with everything else that I've chosen for the month. So this is my October makeup capsule. I can still use any other makeup in my collection, but this is a great way to distill it down so that on busy days I have everything I need in one place for a perfectly cohesive look. Plus, it's fun, it's seasonal, it's a little spooky, and most importantly, it's grounding. Anytime I'm tempted by a new release out there, I can remind myself that what I have is probably just as beautiful and scratch that itch. I'll be doing my typical new makeup madness anti-haul-ish video later this month, so subscribe if you want to see that. But if you'd like more regular, casual, behind-the-scenes updates on how I'm talking myself out of some of this season's most tempting releases for me, I've been sharing that over on Patreon, so I'll link my latest post in case you'd like to see what that's like. If you enjoyed this and you want to see the Get Ready With Me that I'll post later this month where I sum up my experience with all these products, then make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check out this video here. Thanks for hanging out, and to all of my patrons and channel members, including my Adagio angels, for making content like this possible. I hope we can all remember that even stumbling can be a form of moving forward. So let's stumble in style.